Hello there. Wednesday. Reading from Tortilla Flat by John Steinbeck. Now when Danny was 25 years old, the war with Germany was declared. Danny and his friend Pilon, by the way, is something thrown in when a trade is concluded, a boot, had 2 gallons of wine when they heard about the war. Big Joe Portuguese saw the glitter of the bottles among the pines, and he joined Danny and Pilon. As the wine went down in the bottles, patriotism arose in the 3 men. And when the wine was gone, they went down the hill, arm in arm, for comradeship and safety, and they walked into Monterey. In front of an enlistment station, they cheered loudly for America and dared Germany to do her worst. They howled menaces at the German Empire until the enlistment sergeant awakened and put on his uniform and came into the street to silence them. He remained to enlist them. "What branch do you want to go in?" "I don't give a goddamn," said Pilon jauntily. "I guess we need men like you in the infantry." And Pilon was written so. He turned then to Big Joe, and the Portuguese was getting sober. "Where do you want to go?" "I want to go home," Big Joe said miserably. The sergeant put him in the infantry too. Finally, he confronted Danny, who was sleeping on his feet. "Where do you want to go?" "Huh?" "I say, what branch?" "What do you mean, branch?" "What can you do?" "Me? I can do anything." "What did you do before?" "Me? I'm a mule skinner." "Oh, you are? How many mules can you drive?" Danny leaned forward vaguely and professionally. "How many you got?" "About 30,000, said the sergeant. Danny waved his hand. "String 'em up," he said. And so Danny went to Texas and broke mules for the duration of the war, and Pilon marched about Oregon with the infantry, and Big Joe, as shall be later made clear, went to jail. When Danny came home from the army, he learned that he was an heir to an owner of property. The viejo, that is, the grandfather, had died, leaving Danny the 2 small houses on Tortilla Flat. When Danny heard about it, he was a little weighed down with the responsibility of ownership. Before he ever went to look at his property, he bought a gallon of red wine and drank most of it himself. The weight of responsibility left him then, and his very worst nature came to the surface. He shouted, he broke a few chairs in a pool room on Alvarado Street. He had 2 short but glorious fights. No one paid much attention to Danny. At last his wavering bow legs took him toward the wharf, where, at this early hour in the morning, the Italian fishermen were walking down in rubber boots to go out to sea. Race antipathy overcame Danny's good sense. He menaced the fishermen. "Sicilian bastards," he called them, and "scum from the prison island," and "dogs of dogs of dogs," he cried. "Chinga tu madre, piojo." He thumbed his nose and made obscene gestures below his waist. The fishermen only grinned and shifted their oars and said, "Hello, Danny. When'd you get home? Come around tonight. We got new wine." Danny was outraged. He screamed, "Pon un condo a la cabeza." They called, "Goodbye, Danny. See you tonight." And they climbed into their little boats and rowed out to the Lamparo launches and started their engines and chugged away. Danny was insulted. He walked back Alvarado Street, breaking windows as he went, and in the 2nd block a policeman took him in hand. Danny's great respect for the law caused him to go quietly. If he had not just been discharged from the army after the victory over Germany, he would have been sentenced to 6 months. As it was, the judge gave him only 30 days. And so, for 1 month, Danny sat on his cot in the Monterey City Jail. Sometimes he drew obscene pictures on the walls, and sometimes he thought over his army career. Time hung heavy on Danny's hands there in his cell in the city jail. Now and then a drunk was put in for the night, But for the most part, crime in Monterey was stagnant, and Danny was lonely. The bedbugs bothered him a little at first, but as they got used to the taste of him, and he grew accustomed to their bites, they got along peacefully. He started playing a satiric game. He caught a bedbug, swashed it against the wall, drew a circle around it with a pencil and named it Mayor Claw. Then he caught others and named them after the city council. In a little while he had one wall decorated with squashed bedbugs, each named for a local dignitary. He drew ears and tails on them, gave them big noses and mustaches. Tito Ralph, the jailer, was scandalized, but he made no complaint because Danny had not included either the justice of the peace who had sentenced him nor any of the police force. He had a vast respect for the law.